Next question was, I don't know if I listened to this properly, and I apologize. The Euromax automotive aluminum exterior. This is not fiberglass.
Correct.
Today's episode of the RV Voice is brought to you by RVFix. Ever been stuck with an RV issue miles from the nearest service center? With RVFix, expert help is just a video call away, saving you time, money, and keeping you on the road. Try RVFix risk-free with a 14-day free trial and use promo code RVVoice at checkout to get 60% off the full retail price.
Alrighty, welcome to another episode of the RV Voice. Today we have an amazing guest. Why? Because he's been here before, but he's going to talk on something that is brand new, hitting the market basically now. And you can hear it here first. But first off, guys, if you haven't heard of RVFix, this episode is brought to you by RVFix. And what it is our internal service thing. Basically, what it helps you do is not go to the RV service center. You can give a call to RVFix, 866-RVFix. If you have a water heater problem, you have a plumbing problem, you have an electrical problem, you can call these guys, and they're going to walk you through this on a video call straight through. 40% of the time, they're fixing it on the first phone call. So 40% of the phone calls, 100% of the phone calls that come through, 40% of those are actually getting fixed right there. You never have to take in, but they never have to take into the RV service center. So that being said, if you want a discount, you can get the RVFix discount from RV Voice at 60% off. It's $199 for the year. That's less than $17 a month, guys. This is well worth your time. If you're out in the middle of nowhere, you can't get to the RV service center in a good amount of time without unloading everything and taking it in and making it a whole three-month period of just getting things done, give these guys a call because it is well worth your time, and use this discount code to get that $199 per year. That being said, we have Paul Laux with Brinkley. We're going to talk about the Model I today. We've had Paul on before about the Model Z. If you haven't seen that, go check that out because it is a very, very thorough deep dive of that model. It is incredible. He goes through literally every single nook and cranny of that thing. But today we're going to talk about the Model I because it's new and it's going to be sweet. So we're going to welcome Paul Laux today. His computer is having technical difficulties, so we won't see his face, but welcome, Paul Laux.
Thanks for having me on again. Technical difficulties, of course, but we can just say I cut myself shaving or something, easy.
He didn't want to show his pretty face today.
Yeah. So, super excited to be back on. Thanks again. We're extremely, extremely excited at Brinkley to be finally launching into the lightweight laminated travel trailer segment. Previously we obviously came out with the Model Z Fifth as our flagship brand, and then the Model G shortly after that. We did branch into travel trailers, but high-end luxury line with the Z Air travel trailer segment. But the Model I kind of is a standalone, really our third brand product launch into the market. And could not stress enough how excited we are. I'll kind of get into the brief history, and then I put together a little PowerPoint to go through the different features, get some photos so you can see the ins and outs. So Ryan Twaits, and I mentioned him in our last interview. He is one of the 5 co-founders, co-owners of Brinkley RV. So we've got Ron and Bill Fennick, who are brothers. They've been in the industry for quite some time, been with many companies, instrumental in starting and running successful brands and other companies in the industry. And then you've got Micah Staley, Nate Goldenberg, and Ryan Twaits are the 3 other owners. So Micah, we talked about last time, runs the Model Z product. Nate runs the Model G line. And these 2 guys have taken these prototypes out. They take their units on camping trips. In fact, Nate just loaded up a big Model G toy hauler to take down to an owner's rally in Georgia this week. So Ryan, being the 5th member, he's kind of been like chomping at the bit to get into product again. He was very successful in starting a lightweight brand in his past life, and then kind of got away from product for a while. He's done a lot of different things, instrumental with transport companies and supplier companies and different things. And so he's really well-rounded, entrepreneurial when it comes to, running successful companies outside of just OEM. Well, he couldn't be more thrilled to get back into the product seat or the driver's seat and develop product. And so he launched this first Model I proto. We've actually only just recently completed our second prototype, and I think there's still kind of some refinements there. But as I get into this interview, I just want to stress, this is still very early. Some of the pictures and some of the things that we're going to talk about today. So there may be some changes even from what I'm discussing with you guys and moving forward into full-fledged production. Our hope and goal is to get one into as many shows as possible, January through March, April timeframe, that first quarter, first third of the year, where a lot of RV shows are happening all across, North America, US and Canada. But really what we're anticipating is to hit the market running and not, slow roll our way into things. So we have a plan to produce. We have a plan. We've already been receiving retail orders on this product, which we're super excited about. But we do intend for customers to start receiving their retail orders sometime around March, April timeframe is what we're anticipating. But like I said, these guys have plans in place to move things around and get this product out to market, responsibly so, but still we know it's going to be a high volume segment. It always is, lightweight travel trailers are, they're more towable, more versatile in what people can pull them with. So we're going to hit that, light duty truck part of the market that we quite frankly haven't played in yet. So, but yeah, no, Ryan, just to get back, I know I'm jumping around, but Ryan took this first proto out, camped with his wife. There's a lot of cool content in this. So I'll kind of bleed in some of the stories that he shared with us on his camping trip, but had lots of people looking. We have had it out into one show already, dragged this proto out. It's going into its second this weekend. And then, like I said, the real meat of the market for the shows are going to start taking place in the next, 60 to 90 days and beyond. So we're going to have this out, hopefully for quite a few eyes and ears to hear about it and see it and obviously sell a bunch of these. So.
Absolutely. And it's like majority of the market share is like that lightweight towable travel trailer. So the fact that Brinkley is kind of getting into that, they started at the top end, which is kind of bass backwards from most people.
Yeah.
They usually start on the bottom end and kind of work up to the nice, luxury fifth wheels. But you guys started with the luxury fifth wheels and working way back. So I'm sure thousands of people, probably hundreds of thousands of people are very excited to see the Brinkley Model I. So that being said, what's next for us, Paul? You want me to pull up this presentation you got for us?
Yeah, sure. And then I should be able to click through it as I talk about it. So, this is our exterior of the Model I. So we'll talk a little bit more about this in depth, but kind of keeping in line with the rest of our Brinkley products is we did want to make sure that we kept that automotive exterior look and feel. From this photo, it's kind of hard to tell, but we do have actually, instead of laminated fiberglass, this is an aluminum exterior, a Euromax aluminum exterior that's actually painted on. It's got a high gloss finish with a warranty that backs that retention of that high gloss. And so it should stand the test of time as far as the look and the feel that you get from day one until, year 10 plus. So this particular floor plan, obviously just a single entry. We're just shy of 30 feet. And the Proto 1, I think, came in right over 7,000 pounds or so. I think that's kind of where we're going to tag it, is right around 7,000, 7,100 pounds unloaded with a 9,600 GVW. Obviously, you can see up here 2 air conditioners. It's hard to see, but there's windows all around. I'm not sure if you can see my cursor or not.
Nope.
Moving around, but the windows along the top, if you look, right over the graphic coverage, those are actually windows with kind of like a silk screen covering over them. Mm-hmm. So they blend in nice, and just again, keeping that nice, simple decor on the exterior with the graphic package. And then some things that we have changed though on the inside. This next page I'm showing you, this was actually a link for our YouTube. I can obviously send that for you to link in the actual video that we launch. But this is a couple-minute video of Ryan talking about it, but cool picture nonetheless, showcasing some of these LED strips running down the sides of the cap. This is all metal front wall with a big oversized window going into the bedroom. Mm-hmm. And you can kind of see peaks inside on this view with the undermount lighting underneath, but the lighting inside kind of showcases what's going on in there, where all the windows are located.
Is it on YouTube right now? I can probably pull it up and then drop it in here.
Yeah, it is. It's on our Brinkley RV YouTube page. It's Ryan introing the Model I.
Introduction, Model I, lightweight. Yep, I got it. Perfect. Yep. I will drop it in here as we go. Perfect.
So here's our one-page spec sheet. So we're calling this the Model I 265. You can see your standard run MSRP is going to be just shy of 70,000. And some of these specs I touched on. So we're sitting just over 7,000 pounds unloaded with a 9,600 GVW. Hitch weight's going to be around 650. and sitting just under 30 foot at that 2911. Now that's nice because it's an overall length, right? And fifth wheels, you always have to encapsulate a little bit of that front cap sticking over the pin of the hitch on a fifth wheel. And of course, your bed of your truck's going to absorb some of that. But a travel trailer, that's going to be your true overall length. With your heights, with the ACs being 11.3, we're going to be an 8 foot wide. What's unique about our interior height, it's 81 inches, but it's a straight flatline roof on the inside. So a lot of brands in this segment, they're going to be 81 at the center point, but then they're going to have a barrel or a crowned roof on the interior. So as you move to the outer walls, you know, towards the slide outs and things like that, you start to get a little bit more cramped, where you can get down around like 76 to 78 inches. So what does that allow us to do? Number one, it doesn't impact any of your storage. So when we get into talking about like the overhead cabinets and stuff, we show you some photos of that. You get more storage. Also, your slide heights are a little bit higher. So 72.5-inch slide height. So it just feels way more open for being a single slide unit.
72-inch slide height.
Yep.
Very, very nice. Yeah, that's a big deal. Yeah, absolutely.
And that was, you know, again, something that Ryan really worked on navigating through of, okay, how are we going to hit this market, but yet be different, right? Because there's so many travel trailer brands, and if you're not unique enough, you kind of just blend in with the pack. So we wanted to really set our brand apart. The tires and wheels. So your 15-inch E-rated 10-ply. These are hand-cooked brand tires.
Oh, nice.
Freshwater capacity will be 55 gallon. You'll have 80 gallons of gray, and then a 40-gallon wastewater. And then the insulation value is really impressive too. So we're going to have that double insulated roof and cap, insulated block foam walls on all your side walls, including the end walls of your slide out, your rear wall as well as laminated. And then your ceiling, I'm sorry, I already talked about the ceiling. The floors will also be 40 double insulated as well. So your main floor decking will be the block foam. And then underneath that, you'll have the insulation as well, underneath your holding tanks.
Oh my gosh! So you got basically a double insulated top and bottom in the flooring. Correct. So that's super cool. That's not very common, especially
not in this segment. No,
not at all. That's a very big selling point, in my opinion.
Yep. So moving into the features, I'm just going to kind of read through these and splash in some info as we go through. I've already kind of touched on the exterior. We'll get into more detail later, but that is aluminum finished exterior. What's really unique about it too is Proto 1 that we built, we actually had some dings and dents and things like that as we kind of beat up on it a little bit to see how it would react to, and also how we could fix that. What's really nice about that being more automotive is you can get this repaired at, like a body shop versus having to take it to a fiberglass specialist or have somebody in at the dealership level. So it's going to be more kind of like automotive more automotive and fixing and repairing. So, road debris or hail or anything like that, you could actually get it, resolved quite simply.
Interesting.
We'll talk about the projector in more depth as well, but instead of a traditional television, we've actually got a two-way projection out of one of your windows, and you can kind of see the verbiage there over your dinette, but it's a 48 by 40 inch smart window with on-demand projection. So the projector, it's really, really cool. So you can actually flip the image and reverse it for if you're hanging out watching something like a game outside at the campsite. And then if you want the privacy, you can flip it back inside, pull your screen down, and then the people from outside the unit won't see that you're watching a movie or something, a TV show at the end of the night when you want to relax or on a rainy day.
Oh, that's cool. That's going to be
very, very nice.
Yeah, does that work? So what about like daylight? I mean, is it pretty visible still?
Yeah, so with that screen and with the lights off, and of course you've got all your same blackout shades integrated into the frameless windows.
Yeah.
So you can really darken that up, and the settings, obviously, you can turn up the brightness, turn it down as necessary. So it is really cool. The one in the Proto 2 that I saw, you can actually disconnect and bring it outside. So if you wanted to project onto like a big tarp or something outdoors and watch a movie, you could do that as well.
Okay, yeah. I was wondering, like exterior wise, so like you flip that thing around while it's still inside or whatever, could you see so you're watching like a mid-afternoon game is what I'm asking outside.
Yeah, I mean, as far as I could tell, everything that Ryan mentioned from his trip, he had it going outside, most of the time. Him and his wife left, for a few hours during their camping trip, and he just turned a game on. I think it was a Saturday, so college football. He flipped it on, left the campsite, and when he came back, people were just crawling all over going, "Hey, what's up with this thing? It's not a TV.
What is that?
How are you doing that?" Yeah. So that was a good opportunity to invite people in and get feedback and have them check it out.
Very cool. Very cool.
You do get theater seating, the 62-inch theater seating. The option would be in place of that theater seating to go with a trifold sofa that, for those that need the additional sleeping space and don't want to have people do like an air mattress or blow up sleeping bags or whatever on the ground. So, but then again, that is your main sleeping area. So if it's, in our eyes, this is probably going to be a lot more couples purchasing versus big families. We are going to be dishwasher prepped under the kitchen sink. So that's a huge kind of differentiator from most in this segment, if not all. In fact, our Model Z fits, we're kind of working on getting some dishwasher prep floor plan options into that because we've not had it in our Model Z, but the Model I will feature that under the kitchen sink is our plan. The sliding dining table, it actually positions out. So when it's slid in, there's little brackets that kind of lock it in place and some magnets along the inside of that countertop. And then when you pull it out, you can seat 4. So you could put 2 on either end and then obviously 2 on the outside. You still get your pull-out trash bin. You still get your paper towel holder. You still have dovetail jointed drawers. You get the pull-out pantry. We're going to be the first with a 12-volt, 12 cubic foot refrigerator by Furrion. So it's a French door style. You can get access with the slide in, which is really important to a lot of customers. Obviously, being a rear bath, you're going to have access to the bathroom with the slide in as well.
Yep.
Features a nice big pull-out pantry, drawers, full-size, pantry in the slide box. So, no loss of storage there. Flush floor slide in the living room, just like our other products. So it's going to sit nice and neat and clean, and there's no carpet in the unit, which is very, very important to campers.
Oh, yeah.
This is going to be a 66 by 80 king bed. So I'll get into the bedroom too a little bit later with some more detail. But what's really cool about that is we have our max space split level wardrobe. So when you lift that bed up, we have some hanging wardrobe underneath the bed itself. And then it's actually hollowed out between the I-beam rails for a depth of storage as well. So there's some shelving units that Ryan had, the plant install there. So, for like shoes or, if you want to fold something up and lay it in there, laundry baskets, whatever, you can get really creative with that space, but I'll show you some photos of that here shortly.
Yeah. It's kind of the first of its kind a little bit.
It's very, very cool. It's super unique. And again, once you get in the space, it's hard to, even the pictures I'm going to show you don't do it justice. You have to really feel the space of what it accomplishes. So it gives you a big window, huge nightstand storage that lift up, and then just opens up the whole feel. It's really the first north-south, lightweight trailer bedroom that doesn't feel overly cramped. Because a lot of times you have wardrobes coming down the sides by the bed, and it just kind of clogs up that space.
Oh, so you don't have the wardrobes?
So all the wardrobe will be underneath, and then you also have a bank of 4 drawers in the. It's hard to see here in the picture on that bottom corner of the bedroom.
Yep.
That'll be where you can put additional clothing. He's talking about doing kind of a different wardrobe rack over that as well, but again, that's still early on. We're trying to proto everything before we put it out to market. So
perfect. Yeah.
Air conditioning wise, HVAC wise, so you're gonna have 18K variable speed chill cube, which most customers are familiar with on our Model Z product. That'll be your main AC. So that's gonna, it's ductless and it has a little baffle that oscillates and provides the AC coverage throughout the main living area. And then you'll also have a secondary 8K high efficiency AC in the bedroom. So, really that's overkill for a unit this size. But again, being that the chill cube does not have ductwork coming off of it, besides going back to the bathroom, it's really important to have that bedroom AC. And being that it's high efficiency, it's not going to clog up, all your amp draw if you're on, potentially a 30 amp circuit.
This is a 50 amp trailer?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, usually it's 15 and 15, you know, so like 18 and 8 is kind of nice because I mean it's a small square footage in the bedroom, you know. you don't need 15 to 20 pumping through there all the time.
Absolutely. So the 76 by 45 window, again, I'll show you a picture of that, but that's going to be in the front of every Model I. Which is going to be really nice. It lets in a lot of natural light when you want it, but then when you don't, it has a blackout screen with that foil insulation backer.
Yep.
So that'll raise down from the top, and you can block out the heat, especially on like travel days if you're in the summer months. And you know, we're going to see a lot more seasonal campers with this product line that what we've previously seen in our Model Z and Model G buyer.
Yep.
The shower is super impressive for a lightweight 30 by 42. It's the same shower that we put in our Model Z. So that is a massive shower. Normally you get a much smaller, like a 30 by 36. And while it may not sound like a big difference on paper, you get in that space and you really feel it. So huge shower, nice big bathroom. Obviously we'll show you some pictures here in a bit. We're keeping our square Euro frameless windows with the 6-inch opening. So those do open 3 inches further out from the coach than your traditional. And then you have the integrated window screens and blackout shades. So there's no valances around the window. It's all trimmed out with our CraftSense, just like everything else. Automotive grade sealant package. So again, there's going to be no external bead sealants that you see, any, clear coat sealant or anything like that. It's all going to be sealed from the inside out. Looking through here, we're keeping the same 2 hot and cold outdoor spray ports. So you get one on the door side, one on the off door side by your utility bay with your water hookups. We're going to keep that tankless on-demand water heater. So you'll set the controls inside, and then basically it'll heat up to that max temp on demand without having like a reservoir of a 6-gallon tank. Heated and closed underbelly. We kind of talked about that before, but we're going to run duct work and circulate that through the underbelly.
Yep.
We will have power stab jacks versus manual. We'll have that drop frame chassis with the perimeter lighting. You saw that on that previous slide, all that underbelly lighting.
Yep.
And then we're keeping our same retractable 65-foot hose in the bib reel.
Oh, very
with
nice.
all glass fittings on all of your water lines. So really, really important stuff on even a lightweight trailer.
Yes. Great for freezing, expansion, contraction of the seasons and all that. So yeah, brass fittings, much more.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
Heavy duty 5,100 pound axles. So you'll get obviously 2 on this. So we're kind of overkill here again, but we're doing those E-rated hand cooked tires and then our Brinkley wheels. And our solar panel equipment's a little bit different setup. So it's a 200 watt solar panel with a 30 amp MPPT controller. You are prepped for inverter and certainly lithium batteries if the customer decides to have those versus your any other style. So you can expand upon that solar setup if so desired. Of course, that would be done aftermarket. As you can see down below, the 2 options we're going to offer are dual pane windows and then that trifold in place of the theater seat.
Awesome. Yeah, this thing's I wanted to touch on one of these things. The tankless water heaters, it's a fantastic. I mean, I don't know why everyone doesn't do this. I don't know why they're doing the 6-gallon because it doesn't last very long. 6 gallons goes by pretty dang quick for one, and then it's got to keep up. Yeah, so the tankless water heater is an amazing thing. It also saves a little bit of weight too, so that's really cool. The fresh water, the tank capacities on this is kind of amazing for a 30-foot trailer, in my opinion. I mean, that's a gray tank 80, black 40, and then 55. That's a lot going on in my opinion.
Yes. Yep. So like for folks, again, I think what we'll see is this lends more to seasonal camping, weekend warrior type campers. Not to say that we won't have people that want to spend a lot more time in something like this, more compact and lightweight. Certainly it's going to open the door to a lot of tow vehicles that we haven't played with before. Correct. Being that our GVW is where a lot of our Z Airs come in, travel trailer wise, as the unloaded starting weight. So I think we're going to see a lot more buyers that have been waiting for, winter.
Oh, might have lost you for a second.
Or a 1 ton.
Lost you for I cut out for like 3-4 seconds. So something before 1 ton.
Oh, I was just saying that, this is going to open the door, more opportunity for tow vehicles. It being in this lighter weight segment, and it's just going to allow for people that have been waiting to get into a Brinkley that don't want to upgrade their pickup and get something larger. This is really going to allow for those that want to camp but not have to constantly, I gotta a 30-gallon tank capacity, or 60 gallons of gray or something. They're just having to frequently dump their tanks. So
Yeah. Super cool.
Have you or a loved one been affected by RV problems? Well, don't worry, we've got you covered. Enjoy a 14-day free trial with access to master RV technicians via video call. It's easy. Just click the link below, fill out the form, or give us a call today. 866-BISH-FIX.
all right, now let's get into some photos. So some of this, again, we won't spend as much time on because we kind of touched on everything there, but your interior wise, so this will get you a look at, we're kind of going with a different decor scheme than what you're accustomed to in our other Brinkleys. So we're getting away from some of the gray tones, and this is a lot more cream, white base stuff. Mm-hmm. It shows so well. It's super open, very inviting, really warm. So your sliding dinette over here, this kind of recesses back. He was talking about, again, this is from our Proto 1. He's talking about chiseling this down slightly so you can kind of open it up and actually seat 4 around much easier than the current setup.
Oh, okay.
Floor to ceiling pocket doors. It's hard to see in here because we don't have them shut, but these are finished off nice and neat, and you don't have big gaps, right? You're going to have a very minimal gap at the base for that pocket door, but normally in a lightweight trailer, you're going to have big gaps at the top and bottom. Huge window coverage, even like on this slide out. We could have skinnied this up and cut it way down. Ryan actually mentioned on his camping trip, this was one of his favorite windows in the whole coach. Same thing with like over the kitchen sink.
Oh,
massive window.
Yeah, I can definitely tell that'd be kind of nice. I mean, just, watching out the lake, eating breakfast, drinking coffee, whatever it may be, it's going to make a big difference for a lot of people.
Yeah, 100%. We kept the same recessed dimmable lighting. So like your ceiling lights, and this is, again, you brought up the question about how does the projector look? When I was demoing this at our dealer open house, a lot of times I was sliding those lights down just to showcase what that projector would look like. If you want to have movie night, you can either turn the lights completely off or dim them down, and it looks great. I did skip over this one, but we don't have an oven, if you notice. So we've got our 2-burner range cooktop. I'm sorry. I think that's 3. And then we have our 1.5 cubic foot air fryer convection microwave. And then,
I like that. I mean, air fryers have been so dang useful in my life, in the last couple of years. And, the microwave, I mean, everyone kind of freaks out about that anyway sometimes, but convection microwave, it's a big deal. I mean, it's the oven
may change, but that's what we went with. And hopefully that'll kind of stay the course. Because if you notice what it does, it just lends you to more storage underneath. That's where we've got our, trash pull out, paper towel storage. One little thing, there's a tiny little vent there in the floor. That's actually getting moved out of the floor. Okay. Something that's really important to avid campers, to not have those right in the high traffic areas.
Yep.
And then the other stuff I already kind of touched on, but the 81 flat ceiling height, dovetail jointed drawers, dishwasher prep under the sink. So yeah, just some cool talking points and a look at the inside. Couple more things. Excuse me. Rear bathroom with ample storage solutions. So he's even shimmied some of this stuff over. This center drawer and bottom drawer kind of clipped onto the toilet here. So these are all slid down moving forward. So you'll actually get full extension here. Big 30 by 42 shower. You've got your theater seats, of course, the optional trifold, 12 cubic foot reefer. So this will be French door style. But again, just trying to showcase how different some of this stuff is. So this is minor too, but up in this top left corner picture, if you notice, there's a split level countertop there going into that corner by that massive cabinet door. So that's all going to be one piece now, where it is like a more like a press countertop, but it's still going to be one piece instead of that split level. All of your kitchen countertop is solid surface.
Oh, wow.
So you don't typically see that in a lightweight.
No, not at all. Especially when you're trying to, cut weight. You got the tankless water heater, and then you got no oven. I mean, there's a whole lot of little details that cut into weight like this, so making it more able for like those half-ton pickups and all that.
Yep. So here's the bedroom photos, which I think showcase this feature a lot nicer. And of course, you linked the video earlier, so that kind of shows it in motion. So we're doing the 66 by 80 king size bed with the 8K bedroom AC, which we talked about. That giant window up front with the insulated shade. You have massive campside and off-door side windows in the bedroom. I mean, the picture, again, you can obviously see that they're big, good-sized windows, but really feeling that space in person, it totally changes the whole feel. The nightstands both flip up on each side of the bed, and of course you get 110 plugs, USB, USB-C. So for those like for CPAP and things like that, they got the big shelf already built in.
Yep.
And then your max space, it's a 36-inch depth, split level underbed wardrobe. So again, with that picture, you can kind of see when you lift that bed up, that actually runs all the way down, kind of almost like a drop frame.
Oh, you can step down into it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Geez. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
The picture is hard, but the video might do it a little bit better. But yeah, there's shelving on both sides. And then you've got your bar there with hooks for hanging wardrobe if you need to. But yeah, it's super cool, super innovative, something that's very, very different. And again, it doesn't chisel away. If we run wardrobes down both sides and you lose your nightstands, you lose your sconces, it changes the overall feel and kind of cramps. It makes, I've heard people come up at shows and complain about feeling like they're in a cave, when they have the wardrobes running down both sides. So this just opens everything up.
Yeah, true nightstand feel. If you don't mind me asking, Paul, is it supposed to have 2 doors in front of that under bed storage?
Yeah.
So do they fold on top of each other, or what's the?
No, they close in, so they look like cabinet doors when they're all closed in. That picture, the angle kind of makes it look like they're longer than they are.
Yeah, it looks like they overlap.
Yep, and you can see at the bottom there's a little magnet catch too for them.
Yep, I see that. Yeah. Okay, just a weird angle of the camera. Okay.
I know it does make them look super long, but yeah, they both close in, and then you can open them right back up. So if you wanted to, you could grab some, if you want to open one and just grab something out from a shelf versus lift the whole bed up, it's just easy to get to.
Now, if you don't mind me asking, what is the mattress, like a typical RV mattress, or is it a decent one that people won't have to, replace?
I believe we went with the bamboo brand that we use in our other products. I'm not 100% on that, but I do believe that's what he ran in that proto that he tested out. So I'm hopeful that we'll stick with that because we get a lot of good feedback on that particular mattress that we use.
Correct. I've seen several of them and laid on a couple of them. They're not bad at all. So muy bueno.
So TV projector. We touched on it a little bit, obviously, and there's more info in that video. But so basically, what you have here is a smoke screen that blocks over the window. Then this is viewing from the inside with that shade pulled down, and then viewing from the outside. So you can reverse your image. So it would be backwards inside, but you can, if everybody's out by the fire, everybody's out watching a game, you can flip that image around and control it, and it'll just broadcast whatever in crystal clear footage. It's really, really cool, super innovative. And then also it doesn't take up more space. Again, kind of going with the rest of the story. Yeah. Gives you all the necessary storage, gives you an additional window. If you want the privacy, if you're watching a movie or watching a game inside, and you don't want people knowing what you're watching outside, you can just pull that screen down and it'll showcase just on the inside.
And I'm guessing that projector zones the outside speakers as well as the inside.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So we've got undermounted speakers on the exterior.
That's right.
So you can control it where it's just playing inside, outside, or both.
Correct.
So if you're bouncing in and out, grabbing drinks or snacks, you can still hear what's going on.
So is this projector hanging in the center of the ceiling, or where is it?
Yeah. So I don't have a great picture of it, but if you look in this top left or, top right picture, it's kind of just, directly straight back if you were moving towards the slide out where the seating is. Okay. And it's just roof mounted.
Okay.
And again, you can take that out. You could pop that camera or the projector out, unscrew it, and put it out the campground. It's got a built-in battery. So assuming we don't make any massive projector changes, that's kind of the plan that we have in place, is to have that available.
Very nice. Very nice. That's pretty cool.
So lastly, the exterior of the unit, and I've touched on this too, but it's a Euromax automotive aluminum exterior. The gloss retention, not glass, will last you for years. They back it with a 10-year warranty on that retention. Mm-hmm. Again, I've talked on easily being repairable with more of an automotive style repair. I know the plant used like some Bondo, and on our proto, you couldn't even tell that there had been any kind of imperfections on it. So we're doing the Brinkley seal package. So we're still doing our Eternabond and still doing our gasket style sealing that we're, customers are familiar with our other products. And then we're keeping the Fusion awning lights. So we've actually since switched our Z product to those. Our Model G's always used them, but they're more like a bar LED. So similar to like what you see on the front cap will be right under your awning. So you're not going to have those individual diodes burning out. And then, oh man, I got to replace an entire strip of LED because, one or two have gone bad. And then lastly, a nice exterior feature is our plan to use the ABS with sway mitigation. So even though this is lightweight, you're still towing a trailer, and at the end of the day, you want that peace of mind knowing if you have to slam on the brakes for whatever reason, coming up on an accident, construction, icy, rainy roads, whatever the case is, that's going to help you safely apply the brakes without having the tail wag the dog, so to speak.
Yeah, that's not a fun situation. Everyone's seen those videos.
Oh yeah, not fun at all. But that's kind of my my little spiel on or my presentation on the Model I. Hopefully it kind of covers, the basics. Obviously, if you have any questions for me that I didn't go over, I'm happy to answer. I do want to stress, this is still an early prototype. All of the photos that I've shown are from our very first prototype. But our intention is to really, again, like we do with everything else, listen to feedback, allow it to drive innovation, changes. We certainly don't want to miss the mark with customers. And I think, by the time we get it out to market and really get more floor plans out there, we're going to continue to drive change based off of our owner feedback and potential owner feedback too. It's not just those that have one, but both those that are potential buyers and those that own one. Yeah.
So I actually do have a couple questions on this thing. We're going to go back to that last slide here. I can kind of control it. I'll bring it up here. So on 8 here. So you said, what's the Brinkley seal package? Can you walk us through that real again? Because I kind of forgot from Model Z. I've talked to several people since then.
Sure. So really what we do is our seal is done from the inside out, right? So it's more automotive style. And I often joke with salespeople, I'm like, hey, if you can remember two things to pitch, it's automotive exterior and it's a residential interior. And then you get into all the talking points, right?
Yeah.
So on our seal package, what we do, all of your kind of like 90 degrees, your corner perimeters. Yeah. So like where the roof meets the sidewalls, where the slide box is fabricated together, we're going to wrap Eternabond around those corners, those 90 degrees. And that's typically what you see when people go out for repair jobs on their roof or things like that. The number one thing I always see is Eternabond is used. It has an extreme resistance in breaking down from heat and cold. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe our range of impact is like -70 to 270 degrees. So it's got a massive range before that material would actually start to break down because of, rapid, swings in temp. So that's going to help from, water intrusion, weather elements. That's applied before we run any like roof membrane or, gutter rails or trims or awnings or any of that. Okay. Secondly, we do a BCF, which is like an industrial grade butyl, but not the butyl putty that you're accustomed to seeing. It's like a gasket foam seal. So it's actually like a tape that they wrap around all like your windows, your baggage doors, your entry doors, any kind of cutout from the unit. So it provides a nice gasket seal as you place the windows into the side of the coach, the baggage doors, and so on and so forth. And so all of those things that we do, they're higher grade materials that we're using. And it mitigates the need for, or alleviates the need for needing to run around with a tube of silicone and seal off. Oftentimes you see that, and it's the first thing that's going to strip away from the coach. Everything that we do is sealed from the inside out versus applying that last as a measure of protection.
Yeah, interesting. It's layered properly as the build goes on. And next question was, I don't know if I listened to this properly, and I apologize. The Euromax automotive aluminum exterior. This is not fiberglass.
Correct.
Oh,
so it's a aluminum painted exterior. But instead of obviously like a stick built unit with wood frame where you get kind of the waves and put out in panels, right? It's still going to be a laminated wall, but we're going to have Azdel composite on the exterior and interior of those panels. So there's going to be no wood substrate in the sidewalls, or even the floor for that matter. We also use Azdel composite to laminate the floor in this particular product. The only place you'll see wood is up in the roof, and that's a better insulator. It's you know, a more residential way to build that coach. Yep. But yeah, so the reason behind that is it's going to help, you know, prevent fading and things like that you commonly see with fiberglass.
Interesting. Yeah, is that across all Brinkley models, like Model Z, Model G?
No, just in the Model I, something that's new for us.
Okay, so it's basically the same. Is it VBL? Is it VBL's construction method or no?
Vacuum bond, you mean?
Yeah.
We do pinch roll. Yeah.
Okay, so it's pinch roll. Yeah. So you got pinch roll, you got Azdel aluminum framing with a block foam insulation, right? And then you have Azdel and then aluminum.
Yeah. Yep.
Interesting. Yeah, is this a first of its kind then for that?
You know, I think there's a couple other brands that might be dabbling in something similar. I don't think that there's many though. If any. I could be wrong in saying that there might even be a couple out there, but yeah, new to us for sure. And you know, the benefits, of course, like I mentioned before, is how you can do repairs on it. Okay. And also, you walk up to it and you're going to think that that's like a full body paint, the way it feels, the way it looks. It's got a nice gloss to it. Yeah. And then again, backed with that warranty via the supplier, that's it's going to stand the test of time for that retention of that look. So you wash it off, it's going to look just as good as the first day you bought it.
Interesting. So you could wax this thing technically.
I think you can, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to do it. That's a lot. There's a lot of square footage. My shoulders will fall off.
They might have you out there on the lot waxing all these.
No, thank you. I'll be sick that day. All right. Well, Paul, this has been super informative. One question for you, I guess. The only other thing is like, what's this like competitors with? So, I mean, it's kind of on its own. I mean, is there a big difference between this and the Air besides the fiberglass front cap? I mean, I'm not super familiar with like what this would be competing with.
So a lot of our competition, I mean, if you look at any main competitor in this lightweight travel trailer segment, so like brands that come to mind, obviously we're not going to have as wide of an offering, especially initially. And I don't know that we get too wide with this thing or not. Mm-hmm. But some of the meat of the market's going to be like your Rockwood, Flagstaff stuff. Obviously not the full size, right? But some of that middle point in weight class. Imagine by Grand Design. Again, they've got some single axle stuff, some smaller lightweight with the XLS series. So, you know, a lot of those brands out there that sell a lot of travel trailers, that's kind of, I think, where this is going to find that we sit right in there. A lot of it's going to be determined by weight and, again, tow vehicle.
Okay. Yeah, it makes sense. I was just kind of curious because it seems like it's almost on an island by itself right now from what I know, you know.
Sure.
But they obviously Grand Design, imagine that could be up in there. And then when you said Flagstaff, that makes sense because they're kind of in that higher end travel trailer unit. So awesome. Is there anything else you'd like to share? Because I think I'm out of questions overall. I do like the fact that this thing's 7,000 pounds, giving that half-ton towability a lot better chance. I mean, I think the Z Air, you might be able to do it with the right half-ton. Still rather go to a 3/4 route just because of tongue weight, but
yeah. And by the time you load that thing out, now, not to say if you're camping locally and you've got a half-ton that's really set up for towing something heavier duty, but again, if you're buying a Z Air, I think in most cases you're spending a lot more time in it, and you're probably loading it maxed out, especially with our starting point in the Z Air trailers is like hovering over 9,000 to 9,500 pounds before you put a thing in it. So where that's our max here. So it really separates that segment even further. But yeah, no, I mean, again, I can't stress enough. We're super, super excited to get this thing out to market. And show people, you know, the masses. You know, it's only been in, really, dealers have seen it, customers have seen videos and pictures, and very, very few have seen it in person yet. So we're really anticipating a good response, and we're listening. So we're not afraid to make change as necessary.
Absolutely. And you got Ryan Twait's video here. You guys can watch that. He goes to a full walkthrough on that. And then Josh, the RV Nerd, should have one out by the time you see this as well. I didn't get a chance to put that up there because it doesn't exist yet. So super exciting that I'm one of the, I guess, front runners of this. So thank you very much, Paul. I really appreciate you coming on the show with us today. Other than that, last chance, is there anything else you'd like to share?
I think we covered it. I don't want to go an hour and 40 again. So I think we did it right this time. Besides the camera.
Yeah, that's all right. Well, that's not your fault. Quick question. Like basically all the interior components, everything that you use, I guess, electrical, plumbing, HVAC systems that you used, that you told us about in the Model Z walkthrough, is that the same or very similar to this? This?
And I mean, it's fairly similar. There are going to be some subtle changes, I do believe, but overall, like the construction practices are virtually the same, especially compared to a Z Air, right? So your flooring, your sidewall, like the process of everything's all the same. Appliance wise, though, obviously that 8K AC is a little different, but we're still doing the Fury on-demand water heater. We'll be backup camera prepped versus having it included here. You'll still get your hose reel with the brass fittings on all your plumbing connections. I do believe we're going to have manual dump valves versus electric. So there's going to be some subtle differences, of course. But again, you're going into a completely different segment. So we have to be smart in choosing about where do we want to put our features and dollars and so. The cool part, though, is there's a lot of first of, too. There's industry first things that we're doing in this product that nobody else will have out to market. So,
I guess the last one thing that just popped up in my head, the heating in this thing, I didn't really think we covered that, did we? I don't remember.
I don't know that we did.
Let me see. I'll pull this back up.
I did. You know what? I think the only thing I mentioned was the circulated heat to the underbelly. Let me go back to that spec sheet.
Would it be in here? The reason I asked, because when we brought up like the thermofoil, it's not like the regular old like ducting thermofoil. You can just like aluminum, you can flick right through it. The
Thermoflex.
Yeah, the Thermoflex stuff. That was to me. I come from the construction world, so like that was really interesting to me. That it's actually very durable stuff versus the stuff that just like you can breathe on it and make a tear in it. So furnace wise, what does this thing got? I guess.
That is a great question that they didn't put on here.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't recall if we're doing a 35 or a 30K furnace.
Okay.
But it would be one of the two. But we are using that Thermoflex ducting that'll be run down to the underbelly. So circulating all your heat around. And again, this will be a developing as far as information and what kind of stuff is available.
Okay.
Via our website, YouTube, social media, you name it. So more floor plans to come too. So this is our first crack, kind of going over that, I guess would be a good way to end too, is our intentions are to have another unit out shortly after this one. And then right behind that, get a third going. So he's got some plans to, like I said, hit the market, with his feet on the ground and really get this thing out to the races.
Awesome. I'm guessing there's going to be a bunkhouse in there at some point.
Oh yeah. There'll be bunks. There'll be, more couples units. But again, kind of in our DNA is we don't want to race out, 20 floor plans to market and confuse everybody, confuse the dealer, confuse the customer, not have the right thing on the lot, not have the right option, keeping things simple and building what people want to buy, I think is the ticket.
Awesome. Well, Paul, it's been super informative, and I'm excited to see this thing in person. Especially with the aluminum exterior, that's going to be very interesting. Being it's one of the first of its kind, and everything else involved with this thing. The Model I is, it's a sweet little trailer. I mean, it makes sense for the half-ton towability. The guys that have the 3/4 ton, sure, you can still get this thing.
Absolutely.
But makes sense to me. I'm glad it's a thing, and I'm excited to see it. So, if that's it, I'm going to kind of close out here if you're cool with that.
Absolutely. Thanks again for your time. Appreciate you having me back on.
Absolutely, Paul. Thank you so much. But guys, again, this is brought to you by BishFix, and thank you, Brinkley and Paul, for coming in and showing us the Model I, because it is kind of taken the market by storm with Brinkley in general, but now the Model I is kind of the focus of everyone's mind. So if you guys want the BishFix discount code, by all means, please hit that. It's $200, $199. That's less than 17 bucks a month. BishFix, BishFix, BishFix. It's a flip of a coin, guys, to give them a call and not have to take your RV into service and be gone for 90 days. That's 90 days that you could be camping with your family, staying out, doing what you want to do. So give them a call. It's trust me, it's worth the $200. I spent worse $200 in a night. So that being said, Paul, again, thank you so much. If you guys want to see the video of the Brinkley Model I by the designer, you can shop it here from us, but also the designer, Ryan Thwaites, has this video, so you can get the full dive through that as well. And Paul, again, thank you so much, and stay tuned for more from the RV Voice, y'all.